What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what really moved it today and what could potentially be coming out from their Q1 earnings. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did go up 4.63%, 1240 the low, 1305 the high. So pretty kick-ass day all in all. So there was a couple of different attributing factors. One is just a broader optimism from China. So the whole China-US tariff war is starting to de-escalate right in front of our eyes, because overnight yesterday China did extend a olive branch and potentially will be reducing some of their tariffs from 125% to 30% in some cases. So this is the first time China has kind of done something on their side. So I think the market took that as fairly optimistic. Aside from that, we did have the Michigan consumer sentiment coming in at 52.2 versus a forecast of 50.8. A very nice reversal, still a little bit low, but a very nice reversal, because the last 5 occurrences of this all prompted a crazy sell-off. So all in all, market took that as very optimistic, and there's been a huge amount of money sitting in money markets. In fact, $6.91 trillion is sitting in money markets. So at the end of the day, a lot of those big institutions are waiting for the green light. And with the tariff kind of fear subsiding, and also with the recent data, that was enough for the market and big money to kind of rotate back into equities. So at the end of the day, this is why you did see with SoFi and pretty much across the board a little bit higher in volume. But specific to SoFi though, there was one rumor that did come out that I'll talk on in a second, but there was this that came out. So why analysts give ratings before their earnings doesn't make sense, but there was a new analyst, so Devin, who has a 66% success rating from JPM Securities, did give a buy $17 price target. Not the highest. We do have Dan with Mizuho does have the highest with 20, but still $17 is very optimistic. And even aside from that, this analyst does have a very good rating, 66%. So at the end of the day, all of that did really push SoFi higher. So welcome back to, I guess, temporarily the 13s. So it did have that 1305 as a high. So let me know your thoughts on that. There was also one other rumor that was somewhat floating around. So as you can kind of see, there was a position, and multiple positions, in fact, I think there's 9 in total, but senior product manager crypto. So insinuating that SoFi is working on that behind the scenes, because there's been a lot of green lights from regulatory bodies allowing banks to have obviously crypto, deal with crypto and whatever else. And one way to find out what a company is doing behind the scenes is to look at what they're hiring for. So at the end of the day, kick-ass stuff, and I think just the writing's been on the wall anyways that crypto is going to be coming for SoFi. But there was also one thing that was in that kind of description, and it said right here, and service our 11 plus million members. So giving a little bit more insight potentially on member growth for Q1, because this was from the Q4. So at the end of the day, we kind of have a little bit of an insight on member growth, but then again, we already did know member growth would be very high for this quarter, because just the visits to SoFi.com were like record numbers. So I think everything so far is the writing on the wall that SoFi is going to have another kick-ass earnings. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. But when it comes down to shorts, 13.5% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 145.743 million shares overall are being shorted. So it does insinuate right here that shorts did increase quite a lot. So there was a certain level of back and forth. Big money was definitely getting in today, which was obviously countering this 7.08 million shares. So definitely a little bit of a battle did occur today. 25 million in calls, 5.14 in puts. 46% of all the options being done today were bullish in nature. And so you had 30.2 million today in total premiums, 15.1 yesterday, 26 the day prior. So definitely good to see. With today being Friday, the open interest, there was 55,000 in the money call options. So that does mean that you could see a very nice bump up come Monday. So again, definitely something to pay attention to. And also on a side note, kind of watch for my video over the weekend where I go over some expectations for this upcoming week. So I'll cover all of that. But aside from all that fun stuff though, these are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market. So somewhat a abnormal amount of volume being done after hours, and it's actually even pushing it up higher, so up 0.31%. So I'm sure some of that is market makers buying, right? Because they don't have a lot of volatile stocks such as SoFi in their inventory, so they do have to go to the open market. This one right here, 11.3, most likely that was a large institution. 12.9, 2.2, 1.6. So definitely a lot of these transactions could be linked to just the options. So at the end of the day, always good to see, very welcomed. But with it at $12.88, closed between this R1 and the pivot. So 14.01 will be a strong kind of target going into next week, and then 12.46. This is exactly where I did state that it was going to land this week. So between that $14 and $12 range. So pretty good stuff. It would have went a little bit higher if we did have true confirmed tariff reductions, both from the States and China. Right now we just have certain products and whatever else. But aside from all that fun stuff on the actual chart, it did successfully get over that 50-day moving average and also held above that 200. So at the end of the day, everything is pointing for it to have a very nice Monday, potentially even touching that 14.13. So that's going to be the next target. So that is that 100-day moving average. So at the end of the day, pretty exciting things are coming for SoFi. So don't forget to hit that thumbs up, give yourself a shout out if you did buy, if you sold. And do you think that potentially that this is more insinuating that they're going to announce the crypto side or kind of an expansion in their Q1 earnings, or are they going to wait till afterwards? What's your kind of thoughts on that? Hopefully everyone has a kick-ass weekend ahead of them. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.